Yeah, I think UTSA, when you're accepted into their program, you don't just walk into the college and start learning from textbooks. You really get invited into a network where you get to plug in and find out, where am I going to be a good fit? What grade and what school district? Where can I be most effective? Where can I come and be the most creative and find a home for my style of teaching? My professors have been wonderful in this program. They're some of the best I've ever had. They've taught me so many things that are directly applicable to the classroom. Now that I'm in student teaching, I can think of things that I heard in Dr. Harmon's class, things that I read in Professor Wilburn's class. I think of Professor Nancy Seidensticker. She said, every day that you walk onto a campus, if you're not grateful to be there, you're in the wrong place. So I started out at UTSA as an English major, and I had no idea that I wanted to be a teacher. And everybody always asks English majors, are you going to teach? Are you going to teach? And my answer was always no. I didn't have anything against teaching. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I didn't think it was going to be teaching. And in college, I got a job and ended up turning into a digital marketing position. And so I worked there for a couple years. And one day I realized that I wanted to spend less time with my computer in a room by myself, and I wanted to be around people more. And so I started working at a preschool with 2-year-olds, and that was my beginning of realizing that I had this heart for teaching. My mom homeschooled me in elementary school, and she showed me really the power of love and education put together. And I looked up UTSA's post-bac certification program. I loved the way it was so connected to schooling and districts in the city, and the rest is history.
Well, the thing about, here at UTSA and the program is they're teaching us to be, culturally efficacious agents of change, right? To be professional, to be community-based, and we have to be knowledgeable. So those are the things that I don't think, I could have gotten anywhere else as far as a really stable foundation to be prepared for the work field. One of the things that a teacher told me is that teaching isn't hard, it is hard work. And I believe that one of the ways that we can make change in our education system, aside from anything political, is actually going there every single day with love, compassion, empathy, and just being there for our students. One of the particular moments that was really moving to me was after chess club, right? I stay after school for extracurricular activities, and one of the students, where we were walking out on the way out, he looks up to me and he says, "You're my favorite teacher." And inside, it just melted my heart. So if somebody was contemplating the program here at UTSA, I think that the biggest thing is for them to, try to understand the members here at UTSA, all the faculty and staff. What they do is they invest not only their time, but also into your time as a student. And at that point, you cannot ask for anything better than to have a faculty and staff that really care about what your future looks like.
So I always wanted to help people. I feel like, there's something that was always bigger than myself. So I started with special ed probably my second semester at UTSA, and I loved it. I think every single one of my practicums has been just amazing. I've had little kids, like third grade. I've had the middle schoolers, and now I finally have high school, which I'm loving it because I always said, I love the little ones, but high school has really been different for me, and I've gotten to connect with students that, I didn't think that I would have these connections with, so I enjoy it. It's really broadened my eyes because it's probably one of the first opportunities I've gotten to where I can be one-on-one with the students. Most of the time, I'm kind of always being shadowed, but this time, like clinical teaching, you're kind of just, hey, you're going to be taking over the class. So it's been really, opened my eyes, and it's been very great for me, I think. It's been a tough year for everyone and every kid. So going into teaching, I don't ever want to be a teacher where I feel like I have to, be strict with students and kind of just being on their backs, because each student comes from such a different family and household that you just never know what they're going through. So always being humble with them will probably always get me the furthest I can go.
I never expected to be a teacher. I always wondered what I wanted to be, but I wanted to help people. So I started focusing on what was my issue when I was growing up, and that was I never got to identify with someone in class, and that started with the teacher. I always saw the blonde white woman in front of me, and I never found someone that could connect with me in a sense of way of culture, language, and just being able to understand my situation. So I started researching and I came up with bilingual education. So I came into UTSA as a normal freshman orientation student, and I walked into this office and they were like, what do you want to focus on? And I really blinked because I was like, what do you mean? I just want to be an elementary school teacher. And they were like, there's so many focuses. There's ESL, general, and bilingual education. And the fact that he said bilingual education brought a spark in me, and I was like, what is bilingual education? And he was like, it can be anything you want it to be. So that started me to start my degree plan and be a bilingual teacher with the focus in Spanish and English, and it has made me be aware of so many things that I missed out on when I was a kid. Teaching it in elementary is a good focus, so I can grow those little children up and feel like they do belong in this world. Coming in as a student, being Latina, I got to experience many different things in my clinical year. But one thing I will always remember was those smiling faces of seeing someone that the students could identify with themselves. I remember walking into this one classroom and they were like, what's your name, miss? And I would say, Miss Carvajal. If you can't pronounce it, it's okay. You can say Missy. And the first thing they were like, no, we can pronounce it, miss. It's Miss Carvajal, like I say. And I was like, yes, that's correct. And that made me feel so accepted by the students, by these 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, accepting who I was, who and how to pronounce my name. Overall, it was a good step forward that, oh, this is how I want to feel. I want to feel accepted by these 5-year-olds because I know at the end it's going to be worth it. Me and that student are going to build a bond by the end of the year, and we're going to grow together.